Welcome back to the deep dive. If you're anything like us, well, you can probably feel the calendar right now.
Definitely.
We are lodged deep in what we call the grinding middle stretch. It's October 27th, day 300.
That point.
Yeah, the big ambition from January. It's kind of faded. And the finish line for whatever you're working on, a business plan, a personal project, it feels way too far off to really motivate.
It's the moment, isn't it? This
Okay.
is when real substance, the kind that actually survives the monotony, that's what gets tested.
It really is.
And it was fascinating looking at the sources we've gathered today, blending philosophy, psychology, strategy,
Yeah.
is that the resilience you need for this grind, it isn't just about sheer willpower.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's fundamentally about self-knowledge. The
Yeah.
core insight here really is this surprising link between deep personal integration and building, high-performing team harmony.
Okay, so our mission today is to pull out the practical tools. Tools to build that resilience exactly when the momentum stalls.
Right.
We're looking at how self-discipline, that sort of inner strength, becomes the absolute foundation for collective success. And we start, as the sources often do, with Siddhartha's 3 essential practices, the patient ones that build real substance.
I can think. I can wait. I can fast.
And just to put those in context for today, we're not talking about like ancient austerity exactly.
Right.
I can think means really cultivating rigorous intellectual honesty
Hmm.
about reality, about yourself.
Right.
I can wait. That's the patience, the long-term view, the opposite of that quick win we crave around day 300.
Yeah, definitely feel that craving. And I can fast, but that's the real powerhouse for the grind, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's not literal hunger. It's the ability to say no to immediate gratification, like fasting from the urge to check notifications or avoiding that easy defensive reaction to criticism.
Exactly. It's a denial that actually builds energy. It doesn't drain it.
Huh. Built energy. I like that.
Precisely. And that first discipline, I can think, it leads us straight into the intellectual heavy lifting of self-discovery. Great.
Leo Tolstoy's Calendar of Wisdom brings up this really interesting tension. For any deep truth or, real faith to actually stick, it has to engage the intellect. You can't just sideline your mind.
William Ellery Channing puts it so clearly, doesn't he? He warns, do not believe that in religion you cannot trust your intellect.
Right.
It's not about just being skeptical for no reason, but making sure our minds are actually supporting our beliefs and practices, not just stuffed away somewhere.
And the crucial part, even if the ultimate truth, with a capital T, is maybe higher than our everyday grasp, as Fyodor Strokov pointed out, we still have to use our minds to get closer.
How so?
We use the intellect to purify our understanding, to exercise it, to test everything we possibly can. It's like a constant process of refinement.
Okay, but doesn't that risk, analysis paralysis? Especially now, day 300, we just need to do something. If we're constantly testing every foundation, when do we actually, move forward?
That's a fair point, a really valid pushback. But the goal of this intellectual honesty isn't to freeze us. It's to make sure the ground we're acting on is solid, not just something someone else told us. Which is why it links straight to self-discovery. That testing lens has to turn inward. Galileo said, you cannot teach a man anything. You can only help him find it within himself.
Meaning no one else can do that excavation for you.
Exactly. No one can do that fundamental, often messy excavation of self-knowledge. It's solo work, done with that rigorous honesty we talked about.
So once we've done that solo work, found those inner truths, the good, the bad, maybe the ugly, the challenge is what to do with them. We don't want to just repress them, obviously.
Right.
But we can't just unleash everything either.
And that's where George Santayana gives us this brilliant guideline. He says, truth is a jewel which should not be painted over, but it may be set to advantage and shown in a good light.
Don't paint over it.
No denial. Don't paint over the difficult bits.
Yeah.
But you present it honestly, constructively. You manage your internal truth so it actually serves the bigger effort, maybe the team effort.
But setting that jewel means seeing the whole thing clearly, right? And often the parts we don't want to show are the most potent. Which I guess brings us straight into shadow work.
Exactly. If you try to paint over the bits of the jewel you don't like, they don't vanish. They just get shoved down into your, let's say, psychological basement. And they gather energy down there.
Okay.
Robert Greene's idea of shadow work starts right there. It's about acknowledging those parts of yourself, the impulses, the traits, maybe that dark creative spark that society or maybe your family told you were unacceptable. So you just denied them.
And if we choose that denial, that repression over honest confrontation, well, the sources warn we create something really volatile.
Yeah.
Stevenson captured it perfectly back in 1886, didn't he? Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. Jekyll was obsessed with appearing correct, respectable. But his fierce repression created Hyde, this monstrous, chaotic force.
And the quote from Jekyll himself is chilling. "My devil had long been caged. He came out roaring."
Wow.
Such a powerful metaphor for day 300 burnout, don't you think?
Total.
Repression isn't just a moral issue then, it's an energy drain. We push down our frustration, our ambition, maybe our anger, until Hyde just erupts.
Yeah.
Roaring at a meeting or, in that late-night email to a colleague.
So the implication is huge, because the solution isn't just trying harder to be nice or finding some group to vent with.
No.
The answer is radical self-awareness.
Bingo. When you're aware of your own full machinery, the Jekyll and the Hyde, it becomes really hard to unconsciously project those unexamined bits onto other people.
Right.
The goal, Green argues, isn't getting rid of the shadow, it's integration. Through self-knowledge, you find ways to use that dark side productively, creatively even.
And in doing that,
You become, as he puts it, more authentic and complete. You actually harness the natural, powerful energies you already have instead of fighting them.
okay. And it's that integrated person, the one who's actually faced their own inner conflict. They're the one who's finally ready for the team.
Exactly. We went inward, deep inward. Now we turn outward. We use this team idea. It takes 22 feet to score a goal.
11 players, 2 feet each.
Moving together. All that intense individual work, the thinking, waiting, fasting, suddenly it's reframed. It's a prerequisite for playing well together.
And this explains why the self-knowledge part is non-negotiable for teamwork. Think about that projection problem. If you haven't faced your own, say, critical side, or your messy side, or maybe your envious side, if you haven't done the shadow work, where do those feelings go?
Well, they get aimed squarely at the teammate who triggers you.
Yeah.
The one who seems too aggressive or maybe too passive. They become the screen for your own unacknowledged stuff.
And that projection just torpedoes team harmony, whether you're on a sports field or in a high-stakes meeting.
Instantly. It's the critical prerequisite, as you said. Before we can play well with each other, we must first learn how one another plays.
And you can't possibly learn how someone else plays or give them any grace if you haven't really grappled with your own game first, seen all your own imperfections.
Seth Godin ties this personal work directly to effective team strategy. When every player shows up integrated, the strategy becomes surprisingly human. Simple, even.
What does he say?
Help others get to where they are going. That's it. And it's not some fluffy, abstract altruism.
No.
It's the pure functional requirement for a high-performing team. If you're not actively helping your teammates move forward, you're probably hindering them.
And the size of the mission doesn't change how you execute day to day. He reminds us, big problems require small solutions.
Yeah, that's key.
We freeze because the end goal seems impossible, especially on day 300. But each player just handles their specific role, their small piece. And somehow the collective tackles the impossible thing.
Plus, that vital day 300 reminder, traction is progress. Team movement comes from everyone's consistent effort, those small solutions adding up, not waiting around for one perfect, heroic moment.
That consistency focus brings us right to the next part, doesn't it? Sustained practice. Especially now, in the mundane middle, showing up every day when the shine has worn off.
Right. We have to return to that daily commitment. Shinichi Suzuki gave us the ultimate benchmark, tying it to just basic living. Practice on the days that you eat.
Every day.
Show up for your team, for your work, when it's easy, sure. But more importantly, show up when it's inconvenient, when you're tired, which is basically the definition of day 300.
Yeah, the challenge with the mundane middle is we tend to look way ahead to the finish line, or we look back at the start when it felt easier. But to actually get through this part, you need presence. We found Michael Gervais's advice so practical here. Learn how to be here now.
Just be here.
Stop looking ahead, stop replaying old mistakes. Be fully present for whatever today's practice actually is.
And when that kind of dedicated presence comes together across a whole group of people, you've done their internal work, you witness something genuinely powerful. You see harmony.
I like the idea of orderly harmony, but honestly, most of the day 300 grind feels like, well, chaos. Clumsy, frustrating, like constant small failures, not harmony. How does that Einstein quote fit when everything feels messy?
That's the beautiful part, I think. Albert Einstein described this vision. God reveals himself in the orderly harmony of what exists. He wasn't saying perfection exists.
Okay.
He was talking about the structure that emerges from the parts you actually have. Watching a team that's learned to function together, that coordination, where everyone knows their role and the team works despite individual flaws. That is the orderly harmony emerging from what exists. It's messy up close sometimes, but the structure is there.
Casino. And while that ultimate harmony might sound like perfection, Vince Lombardi gives us a standard we can actually reach for, doesn't he?
He does.
Perfection does not exist, but if we search for it, we just might find excellence.
Right. That excellence comes from the authentic coordination of imperfect players. Players who've each done that necessary self-knowledge work and are still searching for the standard together.
It's that tension, isn't it, between radical acceptance and really high expectation. That's what makes the search for excellence work.
Yes. That's the core paradox.
Which brings us to the paradox that seems to define every truly great team or family or partnership. We found a quote that nails this demanding kind of love perfectly.
Which one?
Love accepts you exactly the way you are and at the same time demands more from you.
That's powerful. The team sees you today, sees the limits, the flaws, the shadow you're still working on, and accepts it.
Yeah.
But simultaneously, it calls you toward excellence
Yeah.
because they need all 22 feet functioning at their best capacity. That expectation, it's actually a form of practical love.
It is the practical demand. It's the love that says, look, do your shadow work so you don't poison the locker room.
Right.
And it demands you be a creator, not just a consumer of the team's energy, which is limited. It's saying, be better, because the collective mission needs your full integrated self.
And that's really the ultimate invitation here at Day 300, isn't it? Integrate the darkness and the light. Integrate the individual discipline, the thinking, waiting, fasting with the collective strategy.
Use your self-knowledge to stop projecting.
So you can actually contribute to that orderly harmony of what exists.
The central message seems crystal clear then. Self-awareness, the kind lit up by integrating our shadow, that's what lets us play our unique part effectively, for a bigger, shared purpose.
And like Godin reminds us, the work is easier if you can see where you are headed. Self-awareness doesn't just light up your path. It helps illuminate the path for everyone moving alongside you through this grind.
The sources leave us with one last really potent metaphor, something for you, the listener, to take away. It is the light in the lantern which shows you the path, not the lantern.
Think about that. If the lantern is the team structure, the rules, the forced niceness, maybe the protocols, it just contains the light. It isn't the light itself.
So the light has to be something else. That light. It's your integrated self-knowledge. So we leave you with this question for your own practice as you push through this middle stretch. What is your integrated self-knowledge? The light you bring? What's the orderly harmony revealing itself in your work right now? Remember, better is possible, but change always creates tension. Go find your light.